You know, the only other adversary of ours who's anywhere near as good as the Russians is China. So why should Russia have all the fun? And since Russia is clearly backing Republicans, why don't we ask China to back us?
I hereby tonight ask China.
That's right.
It was a coup to overthrow a democratically elected government, a coup carried out by the intelligence apparatus of this country, by the deep state, by Hillary Clinton and the Democrat Party. The new information that has been revealed by the Director of National Intelligence and by the FBI eliminates any scintilla of doubt about the intention, the premeditation, the planning and orchestration of this conspiracy. It meets all of the criminal elements of a seditious conspiracy against the United States. It meets the criminal elements of an insurrection.
Well, subsequently, under penalty of perjury while under oath, Hillary Clinton's own campaign manager confirmed that there was such a plan and that Hillary approved it. It is the greatest political scandal that we hopefully will be the last that we'll see in our lifetime.
First, you heard Hillary Clinton pushing Trump-Russia hoax with Rachel Maddow, and then that was Stephen Miller and CIA Director John Ratcliffe on newly declassified documents in the Durham Annex indicating Hillary Clinton created Trump-Russia to distract the media away from her own FBI probes that Democrats feared would cause Hillary to lose to Trump in 2016. Joining us now, South Carolina gubernatorial candidate, congratulations for that, Congresswoman Nancy Mace from House Oversight. Thank you so much for joining us. What's your reaction to this? Hillary Clinton had to change the headlines because the FBI was probing the Clintons' serious conflicts of interest in their own pay-to-play scandals, that the Clintons were selling access to Clinton Foundation donors to have access to Secretary of State Clinton and the Obama State Department. What's your reaction to this?
Well, if this is true, it sounds like Hillary Clinton broke the law and Hillary should be in handcuffs. And I hope that when charges are referred, that this doesn't become another Benghazi, because I am, like every other hardworking American, sick and tired of people, politicians especially, breaking the law, flaunting the Constitution, being a threat to democracy and having no consequences. And we need real consequences here, and I believe in the leadership of the Trump administration.
Yeah, the U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi is moving on a federal grand jury to hear evidence about this. We don't know who could be targeted with indictments. Again, this is it's premature. We're just in the beginning stages of this. But, you know, Congressman, the details of this are pretty damaging. Hillary was in damage control in 2016. The FBI was investigating the, quote, grift and graft with the Clinton Foundation. That's what the media called it. The AP had discovered, listen to this, the AP discovered that more than half of the private individuals who met with Secretary of State Clinton in the first half of her tenure were Clinton Foundation donors. Those 85 donors gave a huge $156 million combined to the Clinton Foundation. Congresswoman, that's more than half of the Clinton Foundation's budget in 2015. And then you had nations like Saudi Arabia, Kuwait giving money to the Clinton Foundation, doing business before the Secretary of State Clinton, and Bill Clinton taking in massive speaking fees paid by entities with interest before the Obama White House.
Sounds like a lot of pay to play, and we saw this with Joe Biden as vice president. This is the Democrat playbook. And quite frankly, she should be indicted for these things. And this is what transparency looks like. And I hope that we follow the full letter of the law and provide as much transparency and accountability to the American people, because they tried to take Donald Trump out with lies and with hoaxes, and he stood the width of the storm. He withstood it all to become president of the United States. And this was just a way for her to cover up her transgressions and what she was doing, fleecing not just Americans, but fleecing other nations.
33,000 emails deleted from her private home computer. The FBI was investigating that too. Congresswoman Nancy Mace, good luck with your race to be the governor of South Carolina. It's good to see you again.